Hello everybody, today's video I'm going to show you a day going out to a couple thrift stores. I'm going to show you a project pair of shoes that I'm going to be working on next, a nice jacket that I picked up for $4, and a couple other ones that were catch and releases. Alright, so let's go. Hello everybody, it's Robert Powers. 4.5 out of 5.
My shoe collection.
These are made of shell Cordovan. Can you tell the difference?
Now here they are finished up.
I'm not a professional. Look how tight this is though. Very clearly here I just cut the thread in half. And here they are, all finished up. As the filming of this video, it is now May, and here in Northeast Ohio, we're really getting past COVID. Things have opened up a lot, and I'm traveling more. The thrifting opportunities that I had during COVID, where I was primarily just working from home, were much more limited. You know, I generally don't go out to thrift. I hit thrift stores while I'm out. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is a nice suit and what makes up a nice suit. I'm also going to show you a pair of shoes that I did pick up, pair of Florsheim 93605s that are going to be, I believe, my next project shoes. They're pretty rough. Also another pretty nice jacket that I picked up for dirt cheap. So, you know, just take a little journey here and I'll show you some of the things that I discovered along the way. So the first specimen here that I'm going to show you is a suit. This is a Hart Shaffner Marx suit. Hart Shaffner Marx, I am not a suit expert, but I'm going to show you some things, by the way, that I think are interesting, that I believe you could learn from, or maybe even just have some entertainment value. But Hart Shaffner Marx, I think these suits, I'm not sure if they still are, but generally they're made in the USA. And just from looking at it here at the surface, you know, the styling is not extraordinary, but let me show you some of the things about this thing. First of all, it is a notch lapel, 2-button suit, way too big for me. I'm like a 40 regular. This thing is probably in the range of a 48 or 50 or something like that. But let's first of all look at the shoulders. At first you might think that the shoulders with the wrinkles on them, oh, it's wrinkled, that's bad. No, that's a good thing. It's basically an indication that it's done by hand. That's awesome. That's a high-end feature. Look at this buttonhole first of all. The buttonhole is cut and then sewn. Let me zoom in on it close here. It's a piece of artwork. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Let me compare it here first of all to a cheaper buttonhole. Now this is in a suit that you're going to see highlighted next, but notice that the buttonhole is not even cut open. This jacket is made by Baumler, which I had not heard of before, but it was made in Romania. And here's another one on a Joseph Abou jacket. I don't know if you can tell, but the stitching there is done before it's cut. It's stitched and then cut, and you can see kind of the threads, you know, sort of hanging off there. So that's more like what you usually get. Back to the Hart Shaffner Marx. I don't know if you can tell from looking, a little bit of inconsistency in the looseness when you pull on the threads. The lining is hand sewn. It's just a gorgeous jacket, but like I said, it doesn't fit me at all. But this is the kind of stuff you can definitely find if you're willing to look and dig. I believe this Hart Shaffner Marx suit would go for about $800 new. This next suit is pretty special. At first, it didn't jump out at me though, being just a gray pinstripe, 2-button notch lapel suit. But if we open the lapel, the first key here was that it says made by hand in Super 120s. Super 120s means it's a relatively fine strand of wool. And if we open the other lapel, here, look at the brand name, Oxford, OXXFORD. And look at that label, looks like it's possibly hand sewn on to me. I never would have known anything about this brand were it not for my interview. I'll put a link in the description below with Russell. Russell is the sartorial chauffeur, and he was, by the way, recently featured in the Alan Edmonds publication. He's got a ton, I won't say how many, but he's got a ton of Alan Edmonds shoes. Great dresser. This is the best dressed man that I know. But look at this Oxford clothes. It even shows the name of the person that it was made for. And this was made in 1999. Worsted wool. And let me show you why. Again, look at this buttonhole. It is an absolute work of art. And by the way, look at that pinstriping. It's got some red and gray in it alternating. Where the collar is attached on the back side. Look at that. That's all done by hand. Can you tell? It's not machine done. It's irregular. Let's look at the cuffs. Oh, look at this, surgeon's cuffs. Gorgeous, gorgeous work. Look at that. You see again those buttonholes, absolute works of art. And we can see here, again, when you pull on the lining at the end of the sleeves, that is definitely stitched by hand. You can tell by the way the threads are a little bit loose and long and a little bit irregular. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous suit. This suit retails Oxford's current suits. The cheapest that I saw is $1,300. They're between $1,300 to $1,500. And I believe this was going for $19.99. So here's today's thrift store score. This is a sport coat, and this is from Bumadi Clothiers, which is a clothier in the Akron area here. And I've shopped at that store before. The cheapest jacket, this has been probably 5-6 years since I walked in that store. The cheapest jacket they had in that store was about $300. This, I would not say this is a terribly, terribly high quality jacket. I think it fits me pretty well. If you look here in the chest, I don't think any alterations are really needed. I don't think I'm going to do anything to it. The sleeves even look good. You can see here. You can see it as a notch lapel, 2-button jacket, pretty standard. And if you look at the fabric very closely, try to zoom in on it here. I'll try to get it as close to the fabric. It actually has dark brown and black threads. And I'm not sure if it shows up on camera, but in real life, it's almost, in some lights, has almost a maroon tinge to it. So what am I going to pair this with? Well, I've got a burgundy colored belt on. It may look black in the light here. And right now I've got it paired with black slacks. I think that's a decent combination. So I really try to be fair and objective on my channel. So what do we have here? Is this high quality or not? You're not going to get any clues, or at least I'm not going to get any clues by looking at the lapel. It's because Bumadi, that's the clothier, that's not who made the jacket. I mean, it is very nice the way that's attached, and the logo is gorgeous, but let's look at some of the tags. Made in Romania, okay? So Romania, to me, is not known for either high or low quality, so that doesn't give me a big key. I mean, it's not China, it's not Mexico, although Mexico's made some pretty decent stuff. And this says pure new wool. I think the other ones are translations. I don't see any information that I can tell. That's generally going to be a sign, if that is the person's name, a sign of higher quality. Although I don't know, that could be the maker of the jacket. I'll have to look that up. It's fabrics made in Italy, so that's the fabric maker, I believe. But I don't see anything else as far as what the lining and things like that are made of. So let me go to some of the first places I look for quality. How's the buttonhole? Well, there is an actual hole there, but the rest of the buttonhole is not even cut out, so that's a just normal machine-made buttonhole. How is the collar attached? Is there handwork on this? Looks like not to me. I'd say that is machine stitched. One of the other very first things I'm going to check is it half canvas? Grab the outside material, grab the inside material, and you can see well, you can't see, but I can see how thick that is. The padding is not, see how thin that is? The padding is not attached to the outer shell. I believe that means, I'm pretty sure that means this is at least half canvas construction. It's got 2 flap pockets. Okay. And let's look for more handwork. This is all machine done. You see that? How tight the stitching is and even. It's all machine done. And kissing buttons, that's kind of, a little more forward, fashion forward, but look at that thread coming off. So you got the kissing buttons, obviously non-functional cuffs, So, well, mid-grade jacket, I think it's made of decent materials. I think it's got some, good wool in it. But other than that, I really can't tell you a whole lot. His stuff tended to be pretty pricey. I think I don't know. Anyway, this probably retailed for, I would guess, about $300 to $400, something like that. But anyway, for $5, I'll definitely take it. Here is the jacket. This is a dark blue pair of slacks. I think this could work because the black lines look close to the dark blue. Because they're mixed with the brown, you can't really see that they're black. So I didn't think this would work, but what do you guys think? I think this could work. Yes, I don't have a belt, please forgive me, but this pair of slacks is your more traditional khaki color, tan khaki. I guess that works. I mean, I'm not crazy about it, but I think it's okay. And here's a different pair of slacks. This one has pleats, and I know you can't really see, but it does have cuffed bottoms. The other one's flat front with no cuffs. This one, compared to the first pair, is a little darker, a little grayer. I think of the tan brown tones that I own. I think this is my favorite. I really think I'm going to be looking for something in a browner. Not bad, huh? Here it is with a pair of gray slacks. They're not light gray, they're not dark gray, kind of a mid-gray. I don't know. I don't hate it. But none of these combos really pops, you know, for me. And here's a few more shots in better lighting of the jacket. This one is paired with a pair of tan or gold colored, I would say, slacks with a white Brooks Brothers dress shirt. And this tie is brown with navy and red stripes in it. I paired it with a pair of Allen Edmonds Fifth Avenues in brown and a classic Seiko watch that was my father's. And I thought this pulled everything together pretty nicely. Now here's the same jacket paired with a kind of a peach colored shirt, and the shirt has a window pane on it. I chose a darker pair. This is a pair of slacks that I actually purchased after shooting those earlier videos, and it is kind of an olive color. And then I chose a pair of Allen Edmonds Shreveport's woven leather derbies. And I just thought, you know, it was kind of a nice summery combo here, you know, for business casual settings. Here's something special. Every time I've thrifted shell Cordovan shoes, at first, if you're not careful, you'll just overlook them because they can look like dirty, cheap corrected grain leather. Now, these pair of shoes here you can see are a pair of long wing brogues. And if we look at the green stitching, if you know anything about old Florsheims, that green stitching will catch your attention, as well as that Florsheim Imperial stitched logo on the lining. And here we go. This size is 12C. D is standard width, so these are one step narrower. And if you can read that code there, the model number is 93605. Of all the models of vintage Florsheim shoes, the 93605 is probably the most desirable. Can't tell you exactly when these were made. The date code, the letter is, I believe, a C, which would be a year ending in 2. Someone else on one of the other forums said, based on the way the shell looked, he thought it was one of the older models made in the 60s. I have no verification of that. But let's look closer. You can definitely see just the way the material rolls with no micro creasing. It is definitely shell Cordovan. The shell Cordovan overall looked in pretty decent condition, except for here is the fatal flaw. May not look too bad there. I'm trying to not mess with the shoes too much until I moisturize them, but if I pinch that little spot there, it is definitely a crack. But I'm going to go ahead and take a risk with these shoes. Let me show you the soles. And the soles here, by the way, do not obviously have the original heels nor soles, so we don't have a logo to look at, and we can't tell based on the heels, if you have the original heels on them, where the V cleat is, whether it's inset or flush, can give you an idea of the date. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with these. I am going to go ahead and moisturize them over a series of days and weeks, try to get the shell in as good condition as I can, and then I think I'm going to resole them. These are a little bit too narrow for me, but I might even try, because the insoles are in poor shape, I'll show you again here. I think I might try to widen them myself, so that's going to be a next project coming up. Here's a really interesting shirt I found. This is definitely a weekend shirt. This is not a business shirt. White shirt. It's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got a pattern in it. Well, I had to pay full price. This was $8, right? So it's got an interesting pattern in it, if you can see it here. I'll try to get it in the light. Can you see that? Kind of a cool pattern in it that kind of gives the illusion of light stripes. But here's one of the cool things about it. This is definitely how this one's meant to be worn, right? Very beautiful, bold, bright paisley pattern. By the way, the cuffs are barrel cuffs. It's got 2 buttons. The buttons are actually square. They're kind of translucent, and they've got this lime green stitching on them, if you can see that. That's kind of cool. All right, turn those up. And it's got the same pattern here on the inside of the collar, right? And then if you look inside here, it's got this interesting green pattern, dark green pattern. And the square buttons go all the way down, and each of them have that lime green in it. I just thought this is a pretty cool weekend shirt, you know? Great for summertime, Cotton. Should be pretty cool. Wear it untucked like this. Where there was little patches there, right? Wear this untucked with a pair of, nice dark jeans. These are actually gray slacks, but pretend these were dark jeans. These spot on. If you made it this far, thank you for following along. And one of the questions I get a lot in the comments is, how do you find stuff like this? I'll tell you the key. The key is just popping into lots and lots and lots of stores. Every time you go into the thrift stores, it's just a scratch-off lottery ticket. And the more tickets you scratch, the more likely you are to win something. My average, I would say, is I only find something about 1 out of every 6 times I go in, something like that. The majority of the time I pop in, I don't find anything. And I'm saying 1 out of 6 times I find something worth picking up. I'm not saying every time I find something to, pick up that it actually fits me. Sometimes it might be something that I'm gonna, I know will fit one of my friends or something they're looking for, or, goes up on eBay or something like that, okay? So, there's really no secret to it. Obviously, there's going to be a big variation depending on where you live. If you live closer to large metropolitan areas, especially with more elderly people, you're going to get stuff that turns over more. So, happy hunting. I hope that brought you guys some value. And if you have more pairs of shoes than your wife does, you may want to consider subscribing to my channel. All right, please hit the like button if you liked this video. God bless. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, go to my YouTube page, Robert Powers, and then click on playlists. And from there, you can go to things such as before and after videos, where you'll find a whole list of videos similar to this one.